we got to give a look at football. And oh, baby, forget about Pick'em. I mean, that was great, right? I got lucky. I took Pick'em.
You got like 15 out of 16 right this week. That was incredible. You never see that.
You know my saying, the sun shines on a dog's butt every once in a while.
Wow.
And I made up some big ground in the standings because I was like irrelevant, and now I'm right up there. I think everybody, I think you're in first.
I think I'm in first by 1 point
By
over
1
Andy.
point. Andrew's in second.
Yeah.
Then like 4 points behind them, Tom and Michelle and Sierra are tied, and then I'm a couple points behind them. But all 5 of us are right there. Then Kevin's like right there. So it's 6 people, and the only 2 that aren't really in the running is Megan, who is not a big sports fan, and Dave, who didn't designate points the first 2 weeks. But I got to give a shout out real quick. Andrew's going to get mad I moved, but check this trophy
How about
out.
this? Yeah.
Check this baby out.
That is incredible.
How about a shout out to Kevin Hornick, who is in our league, one of our great friends, and he's the reigning champion. You'll notice whose name is right there in 22.
Who's that?
That's Uncle C, baby.
That's right.
Before what happened in 22?
I let him win.
Yeah, you let him win. But shout out to our guy, Kevin Hornick, big Bearcats fan, big Chiefs fan.
That thing is taller than I am.
And it's heavy.
Wow.
You know,
Jeez.
Thing is great. So the only thing I got to do is make sure I get my name on that trophy here pretty soon.
Yeah, if you keep picking like you did last week, you've got it in the bag, man.
Well, we will see. So we went over the Pick'em standings, but I want to talk about Mizzou, 4-0, big-time game. Start SEC play on the road at Vanderbilt. I went in thinking that could be a little bit of a trap game. You know, big win over Memphis week before with Kansas State.
Yep.
Not the case. Brady Cook was cooking, pun intended. Unbelievable. 33 of 41, about 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he set the SEC all-time record for most completions without an interception at 328. He ended the game with 348 consecutive completions. That's the longest streak ever in SEC history, and I think there's been some really good quarterbacks in the history of that conference. The college football record, I think, is like 441, so he's less than 100 pass attempts away from breaking the all-time college record for most completions without a pick. And then, of course, Luther Burden, who, as you merge, is probably the best receiver in the country. You can say neighbors with LSU. They'll be facing each other this Saturday.
Yeah.
But, man, Burden, 11 catches, $142 scores. And defensively, what do you think about the Tigers through 5 games, Coach?
I'm impressed, man, and I think Drinkwitz is on the right track. I mean, everybody wondered if he was getting the job done, and you see it kicking in this year. Cook has just been amazing at quarterback, but the defense has been playing well. The whole offense has been playing well. We'll get to see what they're really made of starting now as they get into deep SEC play. You know, they're ranked higher than LSU right now, although LSU's favored to win on Saturday, which is kind of weird, but yeah, I'm really excited about Mizzou. Obviously, they are headed in the right direction.
Yeah, well, Missouri's schedule a lot lighter. Of course, we had K-State, but LSU, they lost that tough one to Ole Miss. You see, that was a barn burner on Saturday, and then they lost early in the year to Florida State, who's currently ranked 4th in the country. So they've played tough teams. Missouri, an underdog at home. Game starts at 11. You know, I'll
Are you
be
going?
there. Oh yeah,
there you go.
Unique, Andrew, myself. We got some friends going up. Bus leaves at 7:45 Saturday morning.
Nice.
And I'm so excited I could hardly stand it. I cannot remember the last time that Mizzou was playing this well in football, and I got to say, his leash is going to get a little longer with Will, because you know how I feel about him. Has everything to do with whether or not he keeps his job, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting. And then I wanted to bring up, man, the Nebraska Cornhuskers on a weekly basis.
The terrible, man, just terrible. But we've been terrible for 20 years or so nothing new. Hopefully they can beat Illinois this week.
I wouldn't hold my breath,
No, I wouldn't
my
either.
friend.
No.
All right, so the Chiefs, boy, the game Sunday night against the Jets was far closer than many would have realized. The Chiefs hold on 23-20. You see some highlights there, but there were parts of that game where you're sitting there thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, I thought, looked bad. He played one of his worst games in a long time, a couple of really bad interceptions, and got bailed out at the end of the game by a defensive holding call on another interception. They very easily could have lost that game. But, you know, over the years, this is kind of typical Chiefs. The Chiefs did this last year. They played a game against the worst team in the league, Houston, barely won in overtime. They go on to win the Super Bowl, you know. So that's kind of the way the Chiefs are. They kind of, you know, just screw around during the regular season and then turn it on when they're ready to turn it on. So let's hope they can do that again this year.
And I noticed that Patrick got away with a couple lazy throws that he shouldn't have, that should have been interceptions. Outside the 3 that there were, the one that got called back, there were 2 others that could have been picked that he really shouldn't have thrown the football. And he did look a little out of sync. It didn't look like the Patrick I'm used to watching.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe all the distractions, and there's usually distractions for the Chiefs anyway because they're the world champions. But now you got that Hollywood hoe coming in there, Swift, and blah, blah, they just didn't seem to be focused at all. There might be too much distraction going on.
And there's
there.
a ton of distraction. You look at the suite and where they sit with Travis Kelce's mom and the amount of stars they have in there. I mean, it's serious that Travis Kelce's mom and Taylor Swift are getting as much screen time as any player on the field.
Yeah.
It's getting a little absurd.
You know what was absurd too was Mike Tirico's call of the game. Did you listen to that? I mean, it was like the greatest game in the history of the world only because Taylor Swift showed up. It's like, it's a football game, man. You should be this excited about the football game every week. I don't know.
Are you mad at Mike Tirico?
I'm mad at the whole NFL thing for, jumping on this Taylor Swift crap. That's more important than the game itself
Right.
now. Of course, that's just, old man talking here.
No, but I mean,
let's go back to the basics,
It's weird. You see way more on your Facebook thread and on the news. I mean, you see way more coverage about that than you do about the Chiefs being 3-1 and the emergence of Isaiah Pacheco. Hey, it wasn't just a one-hit wonder. Last year, that tailback, he led the team in yards. He was impressive. And if it weren't for him, I don't think the Chiefs beat the Jets. That should be your storyline, not Taylor Swift.
If it wasn't for him, they probably wouldn't win the Super Bowl last year.
It's
He
true.
was incredible. He was a key part. But yeah, to me, it's just kind of getting ridiculous how the other things are more important than the main thing.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it's Taylor Swift showing up at the game and dating Travis Kelce is more important than the Chiefs winning. I mean, I just don't like that.
Yeah, let football stay football.
Yeah.
And let the Bills cook. Back on top as the AFC power, baby.
Wow, that was an impressive win. I didn't know if they were going to be able to beat Miami or not because Miami's really good this year. They killed them.
Buffalo, over the last 3 weeks, Josh Allen has not had a turnover since that Week 1 debacle against the Jets. He's first in the NFL in yards. He's first in the NFL in passer rating. He's first in the NFL in total touchdowns. And Buffalo's margin of victory, or their plus-minus on the season, is 35 points better than any other team in the NFL. And that's with an opening week loss.
Yeah.
Meaning the 49ers, who are 4-0, have not outscored their opponents by 35 points than the Bills have. That's pretty crazy, right?
That is
They're
crazy.
And Miami had the 70 to whatever win, and they still don't have the point differential Buffalo has.
Isn't that crazy? And I mean, there are so many great teams in the NFL now. You look in the NFC, the 49ers and Dallas and Philly are all great. 49ers and Dallas play each other this week, by the way.
But they all are getting in close games.
Yeah, they are.
All these really good teams are playing mediocre to subpar teams the last couple weeks, and it's close. I mean, it's way too uncomfortably close.
Especially for the Chiefs, who just play with their food. But in the AFC, wow, what happened to Cincinnati? They're not good. Last year they were great, and they're kind of gone down. But you got the Chiefs who are great. You got the Ravens who are going to be really good this year.
Ravens are my dark horse to win it all. Look out for that team, and it's more because of their defense. That might be the best defense in football.
Might be.
And if Lamar Jackson, that running version of him, he had another 2 touchdowns Sunday, the Ravens are going to sneak up on some people at 3-1.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, their coaches won a Super Bowl. They have got a really good winning program. They've just kind of been overshadowed the last couple of years by the Chiefs and Cincinnati and teams like that, but they're good.